Being a head coach in the modern NFL ain't easy.
Sean McDermott, he should be fired today.
With the way that some of these owners and general managers treat their teams, well, I'd say maybe don't be too surprised if your favorite team's head coach doesn't make it to the end of the season. Mike McCarthy, Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, like many Dallas Cowboys coaches before him, and likely many after, finds himself under intense scrutiny as he enters the 2024 season. Despite leading the team to a 12-5 record in 2023, the season ended in disappointment with an embarrassing playoff loss to his former team, the Green Bay Packers, despite Dallas coming into the game as a massive favorite. This defeat, marked by questionable play calling and game management, was not just a narrow loss either. They got humiliated in front of a national audience in a way that has undeniably cast a shadow over McCarthy's tenure and put him squarely in Jerry Jones's crosshairs. It was honestly stunning that Jones didn't just fire him on the field after a loss like that, with the expectations that the team had. The Cowboys' outspoken owner has made it very clear that he expects Super Bowl contention every season. And if Dallas is not heading that direction early, well, don't put it past Jones to give McCarthy his pink slip mid-year. Robert Saleh, New York Jets. Through no real fault of his own, Robert Saleh's tenure with the New York Jets has been marked by unmet expectations and inconsistent performances. But, it's kind of tough to put the blame squarely on Saleh after all. The Jets organization, well, it's regularly one of the most chaotic around the league top to bottom. Making matters even worse, well, he was first saddled with an absolute bust in a second overall pick at quarterback with Zach Wilson, who reportedly he never wanted to draft in the first place. Then in year 2, despite having a revamped roster led by star quarterback Aaron Rodgers, the Jets finished the 2023 season with a disappointing 7-10 record, putting his Jets career mark at 11-23. Again, Saleh was at the center of some misfortune as Rodgers went out with an Achilles tear on the first series of the season, but still, not exactly the level of performance the team was expecting when they signed him away from the San Francisco 49ers a couple of years back. It's hard to say that Saleh has done a bad job, all things considered, especially when you look at how the defense, which is Saleh's specialty, has fared under his leadership. But with the Jets investing heavily in both free agency and the draft, ownership is expecting immediate results. Matt Eberflus, Chicago Bears. I think that Matt Eberflus surviving the vaunted Black Monday this year surprised a lot of people. Once it was clear that Chicago is moving on from its former top pick Justin Fields at quarterback and going to be taking Caleb Williams out of USC with the number 1 overall pick in the draft, it only seemed logical that they roll with a new head coach as well, especially considering it hasn't exactly been rainbows and sunshine for Eberflus in the Windy City. That said, with Williams coming into the fold and the bevy of acquisitions that they've made to support their rookie quarterback, there's actually some excitement around this roster that we haven't seen in Chicago in quite some time. The Bears did one of the most un-Bears-like thing imaginable and actually put together one of the best wide receiver trios in the league by adding veteran Keenan Allen and rookie Rome Odunze to a room that is led by DJ Moore. So I say all of this to say that despite Bears general manager Ryan Pohl's general patient approach, there is a massive risk that if things go awry early, that they decide to pull the rug out from under their head coach in a hurry to prevent further collateral damage to their promising young squad. Dennis Allen, New Orleans Saints. Dennis Allen's head coaching tenure with the New Orleans Saints has been a roller coaster, albeit not a particularly exciting one, more like a kiddie roller coaster, one that's slowly breaking down. The defense, which was Allen's supposed area of expertise, has been solid but not spectacular enough to carry the team. With veteran quarterback Derek Carr heading into year 2 with the team, the pressure is now on Allen to make a playoff push in a relatively weak NFC South. Nick Sirianni, Philadelphia Eagles. This one might surprise people a little bit, but for those closer to Philly, well, they know that the seat might get hot under Nick Sirianni in the city of brotherly love with the way that last season ended. You see, Nick Sirianni's situation is somewhat unique, given his previous success with the Philadelphia Eagles. However, the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. And while he did lead the team to a very stellar 14-3 season that was capped by a near victory in the Super Bowl, Sirianni's Eagles faltered massively down the stretch last season, and ultimately flamed out in humiliating fashion. So fair or not, the bar is set incredibly high for Sirianni, and with the Eagles boasting one of the most talented rosters in the league, with quarterback Jalen Hurts emerging as a bona fide star, if this team needs a sacrificial limb because things aren't isn't going too well this year. Well, let's face it, it's gonna be Sirianni that falls on the sword. Jonathan Gannon, Arizona Cardinals. 2024 is a big season for Jonathan Gannon in the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals begin coach Jonathan Gannon's second season and the team's top draft pick, wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr.'s first with a challenging set of games. First, they travel on the road at Buffalo. Then, the team gets to return to Arizona, but for a matchup with the Los Angeles Rams and Detroit Lions. They'll get a slight reprieve week 4 with the Washington Commanders coming to town, but then, well, it's 49ers, Packers, and Chargers on Monday Night Football Week 7. And if things go south at the Cards, which, well, based on Gannon's abysmal first season at the helm, during which the team finished 4-13, let's just say I would not be shocked to see the first-time head coach unceremoniously discharged if Arizona gets off to a slow start and suffers a national embarrassment on Monday Night Football. Harsh, but true. The Cardinals just mended fences with star quarterback Kyler Murray and gave him a beefy extension. So, if a change needs to be made because the team isn't performing, it's gonna be Ganon that's showing the door. No doubt about that. Sean McDermott, Buffalo Bills. Though Sean McDermott has presided over one of the most successful periods in franchise histories, consisting of multiple playoff appearances and a very impressive regular season mark, with the way that the Buffalo Bills have struggled to live up to expectations once playoffs come around, and of course the fallout of the Stephon Diggs breakup, McDermott is gonna really need to get off to a good start this year. Now, of course, it isn't all bad for McDermott. Quarterback Josh Allen remains one of the league's best, but his propensity for turnovers has been a bit of a concern. The Bills' defense, a once formidable unit, showed serious vulnerabilities last season, and he's gonna need to do a better job of doing more with less, considering the chunk of salary cap that the aforementioned Bills eat up. The Bills have real Super Bowl aspirations, and McDermott needs to get this team to take that next step. Otherwise, he may see ownership flip on him rather quickly. Brian Daboll, New York Giants. Brian Daboll's inaugural season with the New York Giants was filled with promise. The former Bills coordinator led New York to a 9-7-1 record and a stunning playoff berth, despite folks around the league predicting that the Giants would be picking at the top of the draft the following season. Unfortunately for Daboll and the G-Men, the 2023 season saw a massive regression for the Giants, who ended up finishing the year with a 6-11 record that was, at many points, even uglier than that record might suggest. Granted, quarterback Daniel Jones was in and out of the lineup with injuries, but when he was healthy, he still struggled mightily, leading many to wonder why New York even bothered to re-up his deal heading into the year. Unfortunately, New York is stuck with Jones for one more year, so Daboll does have a little bit of a human shield there. But if things completely deteriorate in the Meadowlands, do not be shocked if we see the Maras go against their tradition and pull the plug on Daboll mid-year. Sean Payton, Denver Broncos. Sean Payton's high-profile arrival in Denver was met with lofty expectations and excitement in the Mile High City, and understandably so, given his successful track record with the New Orleans Saints. After all, there are only so many NFL coaches that have won a Super Bowl, and Sean Payton is one of them. But with expectations comes the risk of disappointment, and my God, were the Broncos disappointing last year, with the team finishing 8-9 and Sean Payton failing miserably at his attempted reclamation project with another former Super Bowl winner, quarterback Russell Wilson. This was a bit troubling considering Payton's reputation as an offensive guru. But in any case, Payton won the war with Wilson and got the veteran signal caller shipped out of town to Pittsburgh, meaning that all the attention is now firmly on him. So if we see the Broncos stumble out the gate in 2024, Payton's tenure could be shorter than anticipated. The Broncos are not a franchise that likes to waste time, and considering what a polarizing figure Payton can be, it is very possible that we see Denver seek a new direction if early returns are not promising post-Russell Wilson. Dave Canalis, Carolina Panthers. Alright, well, let's start this off by saying I am truly sorry for Dave Canalis, who's walking into a powder keg in Charlotte as a first-time head coach. Canalis is up against it in a way that very few coaches around the league are, with mercurial and at times explosive owner David Tepper watching the rookie head coach like a hawk. For some reason, Tepper seems to think that he can run a pro football team like a 12-year-old playing Madden, recklessly wheeling and dealing players, hiring and firing coaches, and if the Panthers get off to a slow start and they continue to struggle offensively, well, that could lead the front office to reconsider their choice and put Canalis at risk of a mid-season firing. The NFC South, being relatively weak, provides a window, albeit a slim one, of opportunity for Canalis and the Panthers. However, Canalis must prove that he can handle the pressures of being a head coach and quickly implement his system, which, based off how the team and its young quarterback Bryce Young looked in 2023, is gonna be a tall order. I don't think it would surprise anyone if the Panthers got off to a slow start and then to see Tepper go rogue and start canning people left, right, and center, his rookie head coach included. But hey, on the bright side, if Canalis can turn this team around, he is most surely going to be up for Coach of the Year honors. But hey, which NFL head coach do you think is most likely to get fired in the middle of this upcoming season? Who did we get right? Who did we get wrong? Was there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, well, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.